I think it's about time we make a hot wire cutter to help me manage and dispose of all this plastic junk. And also to help me cut those bins shorter, because I think they could still find some use as trays. Like we could put them in the back of our car to hold stuff, so in case things leak, they leak inside that, not inside the car. But most of this stuff is going to go in the trash, so I don't need any of that stuff. For the heating element, I'm going to be using this nichrome wire that Arduino vs. Evil sent me several years ago. I believe 2014 or 2013, I'm not sure. And then I was going to use wood to make a frame, to make the, let's call it a bow. Well, then it occurred to me I have some of this PEX pipe that I found at the dump, and I could make an actual bow. Put that between there. Probably put some screws into the plastic, because the plastic still is strong enough to hold a screw. Then connect the power to this inside so the heat doesn't melt the plastic. And that should be a good enough, like a good enough handle to hold that hot wire so I can cut things with it. Not bad for coming from the trash. Oh, and I believe this wire is for TIG welding. I'm not sure though, but here's the sticker on it, in case you guys want to get the same thing. Oh, and the power will be coming from this old battery charger that can do 200 amps. Now, I'm pretty sure, I remember this being 0.2 ohms. And I believe this puts out like 18 volts or so. So that might get up to about 90 amps, I believe. Either way, that's a lot of power, so yeah, we can hope to get that thing pretty hot. Now I could be wrong, but I believe whenever you heat up the wire for the first time, when it cools down, it becomes very hard. So if you're going to be working with the wire at all, make sure you wait to turn on the power until after you have it placed where you want it. Also, I use the screws to push this up so it's off of the plastic a little bit. So yeah, now let's just figure out the wiring. That was slower than I expected, but it did almost get on fire, and I do like the finish. It might actually be useful as a tool, maybe not just for disposal of objects. If it gives this finish to those bins, when I cut them shorter, that would actually be really nice. A lot better than if I cut it with a mechanical action. Not bad. Very smoky though. And with that sawing action, the finish is a bit roughed up, but oh well. Now the distance that electricity has to go is shorter, and thus the resistance is lower, and so hopefully this wire, the section in the middle, should get hotter, and there will be less of a chance to melt the two end pieces. Whoa, yeah, look at that. Well, I think that black tray is pretty much done. Now let's try the highest setting. hope I don't burn out the filament. I might do that. It's 200 amps after all. Oh. Blah. That was a bit much. Well then. God damn it. It could be that there's too much tension on the wire, and so whenever it heats up it becomes too fragile and the stress snaps it. The smoke that this plastic is giving off is making me feel a bit sick. I'm giving me a sore throat, so let's just jump to the bin. I think that's probably good enough for one day. I'm really happy with how this first version worked. I most likely will be throwing away this plastic pipe now that I found a use for it. I feel like keeping it until I found a use for it, and now I feel happy that I found a use for it. But I think it'd be better to make a rigid frame that doesn't have too much tension on the wire. Plus, I don't really have too many applications for this. It is quite nice to be able to cut plastic so smoothly and quietly though, because I'm not a fan of using loud saws and whatnot, and this was really nice and pleasantly quiet. The main issue though was the smoke. Today was an abnormally still day, and if you're going to be doing it, I recommend getting either a big fan to blow the smoke out of your way, or do it on a very windy day, because otherwise the smoke just lingers and it kind of chokes you up. I'm really happy with how this went, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.